Hello friends, welcome to Chicko's Video Dustbin Show. Today's episode is the 1980 Italian horror film Hell of the Living Dead, directed by Bruno Mattei and Claudio Fragasso, who also wrote the screenplay. The movie opens up with a scene inside a secret government science compound with a bunch of eggheads and brain-dead technicians who are experimenting with radiation and Mother Nature. In the most classified area that only can be reached by people like the Orange Human, a rat has snuck in and thanks to the radiation and eggheads has mutated into a killer beast. The rat-bitten corpse somehow manages to hit some rusty pipes which creates a toxic gas, causing the technicians to shut down the compound. The gas causes everyone inside the compound to turn into flesh-eating zombies. The leader of the science project has to consult the top-secret folder and seal the entire complex. The film morphs into a Dawn of the Dead knockoff with the cops and the SWAT team in a hostage situation. Well, according to the English dub version, the hostage takers are left-wing radicals. Damn commies. This radical looks a little bit too happy rubbing his rifle while Dollar Tree Patty Hearst is scaring the hostages. It's probably too hot to wear a beret. Those things are made out of 100% wool, you know. Look at this numbnuts trying to interview the cops during a police standoff. The SWAT cops are getting their shoot first, ask questions later routine down pat before they storm the building. The leader of the radicals makes a crazy threat by telling the Fuzz that if his demands aren't met, they will execute all the hostages. The rest of the gang brings in an idiot box so they can see themselves on it. Like Bush Jr., the Fuzz don't negotiate with terrorists, so they split up into two pairs and storm the U.S. Council. The leader of the radicals realizes that, after watching the boob tube, that he and his crew are going to die. Tear gas is tossed into their floor, causing panic as the SWAT cops prepare to take out the long-haired trash. But these dumb college kids are no match for a squad of professionally trained killers and pay for it. As the SWAT cops take out the gang, they realize the radicals were actually the good guys who wanted the world to know that their government has created a zombie virus and is experimenting on third world countries like Papua New Guinea, which this movie takes place in, and will eventually destroy them all. And all they wanted to do was warn the people. Hours later, the movie has turned into the stand now that the government in Papua New Guinea has collapsed, so the SWAT team steal a jeep and wander the jungles looking for a way out or for any signs of human life. We meet four other survivors who are traveling with a zombie-bitten victim. I wonder how long it'll be before the kid turns. The news crew couple decide to snoop around the deserted village and look for water, while the married couple with the dying kid stay in the car and argue. Marguerite is trying to look for water while her doofus boyfriend wants to shoot a real-life snuff film. Blondie decides to ditch her husband and the dying kid to look for help, but all she finds is some crazy old missionary with a half-eaten face. While back inside the Land Rover, the kid dies and comes back as a zombie. Yay! The couple found a water hole. Now they can slowly die from dysentery and cholera. Like this dumbass right here. The waterborne illnesses on this island will kill you deader than Dillinger. Well, it looks like Blondie just got massacred by that zombie priest. And her bellowing and screaming just woke up a cemetery full of zombies. The SWAT guys find the tiny village as well and decide to go check it out. The lovebirds decide to make a suicide charge past the zombies and are saved by the SWAT cops. Doofus tries to get some of his gear out of the Land Rover, but is left speechless. The SWAT team's leader tells the lady to stand back because it's a man's job. He opens the door and finds the zombie kid munching on a snack, which gets a predictable reaction out of everyone. While they're dealing with Kid Zombie, the other two decide to check out the surrounding buildings. Well, time to put this baby to bed. The two SWAT cops learn that the whole place is crawling with the living dead. After neutralizing the dead dudes in the house, they run out to tell the others that you have to shoot them in the head to stop them. The news lady goes around looking for Blondie and finds her bloody corpse hanging around and is chased around by the zombie priest before the SWAT cops come yet again and save her hide. Meanwhile, the zombie virus has continued to spread around the Papua New Guinea area at an alarming rate as our heroes wander around the jungles. The audience is treated to footage from another film as the SWAT cops and the news crew travel deeper into the jungles of Papua New Guinea. Leah decides to go native in order to connect with the jungle people. The tribespeople think she's a goddess who has come to protect them from the evil virus which has ravaged their village. By nightfall, the villagers' celebration of the dead ceremony is interrupted when all the corpses come back to life. Soon the entire village is overrun with the walking dead. The SWAT cops and news crew jet off while the zombies enjoy a midnight snack. The next day, the SWAT cops' jeep dies on the side of the road. Unfortunately for them, this doesn't come back from the dead. The cops show their true colors and Shanghai the Land Rover, throwing out all of the news crew's belongings. Stoner complains but gets knocked out by the SWAT leader. That Leah's a keeper. She defends her man by threatening to use the SWAT cop's own gun on her, but it doesn't work. Hours later, the group runs out of water and split up and search for more, but all they find are more zombies. They rush back to the Land Rover and prepare for a zombie attack. They try to leave, but Stoner wants to stay and get some good footage. The SWAT cops and Leah run out to try and drag him back to safety. The gang drives away in the Land Rover, and the radio works again, but all they hear on the radio is about a strange phenomenon occurring around the world. We see a shot of the United Nations chamber which has delved into chaos amongst the remaining members. Anarchy and chaos has taken over the third world countries due to the zombie virus as what's left of the UN vows to end the zombie pandemic. The gang arrives at a colonial plantation house and check it out before setting up camp. I guess they didn't recognize the dead, sun-bleached corpse lying in the pool. They do their requisite hero shot before entering the house. As soon as they think it's safe, they all start to act weird. The SWAT leader spots a granny in a rocking chair, which has a kitten eating her insides, and she pops up like a jack-o'-lantern when she sees the cop. Ginger Astaire's tap dancing routine is interrupted by a gaggle of zombies. His buddies arrive to save him, but it's too late. The Sarge reluctantly finishes off Granny. The SWAT cops try to put their buddy out of his misery before they're overrun by zombies. Leah is grabbed by the zombie horde after realizing that those cheap-ass kitchen window blinds ain't good for shit. The SWAT cop saves her ass for the 100th time. Stoner tries to hold the oak doors closed, but the zombies break on through to the other side as the SWAT cops prepare to take care of business. Now that his buddy's dead, Vincent sacrifices himself while the remaining four leave the building for safety. But like Peter from Dawn of the Dead, he manages to escape. But as they're leaving, they pick up an unwanted hitchhiker, just as their Land Rover dies. But the zombie virus brings it back to life and they drive off. The three SWAT cops are near a riverbed by the beach. According to the dubbing, they have been on a secret mission all along. So why did they have to steal a broken down Jeep? And how come they lost radio communication with their superiors earlier in the film? The gang is escorted along the dry riverbed by zombies who occasionally try to get inside the cabin. The Land Rover finally dies, causing the gang to have to foot it the rest of the way. It's every man for themselves. The gang crams themselves into a skiff and head off to the scientific compound, which started this whole mess, while a group of zombie well-wishers bid them adieu. Hours later, they reach the compound under the cover of darkness. They arrive, but the SWAT leader has no idea what the mission endgame is, and they have no idea that they're all gonna die. But the technicians give everyone a warm welcome. The SWAT leader, maimed by a zombie, manages to finish his mission when he destroys a few documents from the black secret folder. The last two survivors realize that the purpose of the plant and the virus, which was supposed to be a cure for the planet's overpopulation, worked a little bit too well, sealing the end of mankind. Being an alpha male in death, as he was in life, the SWAT leader takes command of the zombies and leads them to the last two human survivors. Leah screams for the final time as the zombies kill her and the last SWAT cop. The end is nigh for mankind as the virus has fully engulfed the world. Armageddon is here as the zombies have finally reached Europe and brought along death and pestilence. Stupid humans, don't mess with Mother Nature. I actually found this movie entertaining, and it's a fun Dustbin video. I mean, it's a terrible movie that totally ripped off Dawn of the Dead, but it was enjoyable. Hell, this movie is more faithful to the Resident Evil video game than that lame-ass movie that came out in the early 2000s. But the only thing that really grinded my gears was the inconsistent dub storyline, which made no sense. But don't try it, folks, because it'll just make your head explode. The original title of the movie is Virus, which pretty much explains the plot of the film, but it's also known as Hell of the Living Dead, Cannibal Virus, Night of the Zombies, and Zombie Creeping Flesh. Well, thanks for watching another fine episode of Chicko Dee's Video Dustbin Show. I'll see you next time at the video store.